The name of Rowan Atkinson is inextricably linked with the famous character Mr. Bean, the hero of the TV series of the same name. This role has brought the British comedian widespread fame, as well as millions of loyal fans around the world. His original and memorable appearance along with unforgettable facial expressions made him one of the most recognizable actors. However, the celebrity considers himself a quiet and boring man, whose whole bravado is just acting. Childhood and youth. Rowan was born into a large family on January 6, 1955, in the mountain town of Consett. His parents had nothing to do with television or the stage. His father Eric worked as a farmer, and his mother Ellamy helped him and raised 3 children. Already in childhood, the boy had a very unique facial expression, capable of making fun of almost anyone, what Atkinson often did in school. There he was known as the main joker and clown, which made Rowan recognizable amongst students. At the age of 11, the boy was transferred to a prestigious school chorister, where at that time studied the future British Prime Minister Tony Blair. Later, the actor went to a closed private school, St. Ancourt, located in the northwest England. In it, a lot of attention was paid to various sports disciplines, in which Atkinson felt very uncomfortable. His physique was far from athletic, and training quickly wore him out. Classmates laughed at the puny boy, and then Rowan decided to take advantage of it. In the locker room, he parodied the teachers, turning ridicule into pure and sincere admiration of the boys with his comedic talent. Thus, the young man disguised the shame he felt from his own helplessness in the sport, and tried to earn respect among his peers. After graduating from college, the future actor began to feel uncomfortable for his adolescent clowning, and withdrew, becoming a very serious and modest guy. On a career on stage, Atkinson did not even think about. In the head loomed large prospects in the scientific field. Rowan went to the University of Newcastle in electronics. Physics comic adored since childhood, and easily remembered the huge formulas that can cause shivers in many people with a humanitarian mindset. Technical science has always been easy for the actor, so after graduating from university, Rowan was invited to Oxford, where he was to write his doctoral work. It was during the training in the life of the actor appeared remarkable people, writer Richard Curtis and composer Howard Goodall, who became his best friends and colleagues in his future career. Atkinson took up acting and clowning in his sophomore year, just getting into good company, who could not imagine his life without the stage. He became a member of the Experimental Theatre Club and the Oxford University Drama Society. Humorous sketches were very popular with students and teachers, which allowed Rowan to easily win several comedy festivals. The actor wrote the scripts in co-authorship with his friend Curtis, who also in the future achieved considerable success in the field of cinema. After receiving a master's degree, Atkinson, as part of the theatrical troupe etc., went on tour in England. Beginning of a career. Rowan quickly earned fame as a rising star of the British comedy scene. The first stepping stone to global recognition was a radio show with the uncomplicated title Atkinson's People. Co-author of the actor was again a friend and colleague Richard Curtis. Satirical interviews supposedly taken Rowan from the characters he invented himself were in great demand among listeners. Atkinson got on television thanks to another comedian, Angus Dave. Their joint performance was captured on tape and shown in one of the shows. Subsequently, the actor was invited to withdraw their own program, Not the 9 O'Clock News, produced by John Lloyd. It was not without old acquaintances. Howard Goodall became a composer and wrote unforgettable music for the show, and Richard Curtis created several episodes of the picture. The sketch show aired in October 1979 and immediately became incredibly popular in Britain. After a successful debut on television, the actor was invited to the medieval comedy Blackadder with Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry, which finally established Atkinson's fame as one of the most popular comedians in England. Rowan appeared before the audience as Edward, Earl of Edinburgh. Before filming, the performer had no idea how the character would look and sound. Mimics and movements of Edward in the pilot episode of the sitcom were pure improvisation, which proved very successful. He also had to cut his hair according to the fashion of that era. Bean. World fame came to the comedian after his debut as the character of Bean, who first appeared in 1989 in the New Year's Eve half-hour on Thames Television. Immediately after the new year came a full-length series of the same name, Bean. Rowan came up with the character while still a student at Oxford, and several times even appeared in this image at festivals. In the work, the actor paid a lot of attention to the mimicry and plasticity of the character, as Bean has almost no dialogues and very rarely talks. This role helped Atkinson's popularity to transcend the borders of Great Britain and interest the public outside of it. During the 5 years of the adventures of Bean watched the whole world, each episode gathered at the screens of more than 20 million viewers. Incredible success of the series led to the creation of a feature film with the same name, which was released in 1997. In the image of the famous character, the actor repeatedly appeared in numerous shows and television projects, delighting viewers with colorful performances. However, over time, Rowan began to tire of Bean and announced that the picture Mr. Bean's Holiday would be his last appearance in this image. The film was released in 2007 and was first shown in Russia. In 2012, Atkinson reappeared as the iconic hero at the opening ceremony of the Summer Olympics, where, as part of a comedy sketch, he accompanied on a synthesizer while performing the song Chariots of Fire, playing only one key. After the games, Rowan gave an interview in which he announced the end of Mr. Bean's career. According to the artist, the role was getting harder and harder on the physical side, because the character has incredibly rich facial expressions. Visiting Moscow in 2015, Atkinson noted that when Bean turned into a middle-aged man, he began to better understand how to play him than 35 years ago, when the character first appeared. The actor was embarrassed by the fact that the 50-year-old man acts too childish on the screen. However, this did not prevent Rowan from voicing his character in the animated series that was released in 2014, as well as to play Bean again in an ad for the popular Snickers bar. On the set of the commercial, Atkinson, naturally flexible, was most afraid of going up on the roof. Even the 2-meter height made the actor nervous, but was comforted by the thought that the team of professionals at the right moment will back him up. After conquering the television and big screen audiences, Atkinson's character began to conquer the internet. Since 2018, the show Handy Bean, in which Bean was making something, was released on the platform YouTube. The popularity of Mr. Bean's channel rapidly became off the charts, and Rowan received a diamond YouTube button. Movies. In the film Rat Race, Atkinson was accompanied by no less famous comedians John Cleese, Whoopi Goldberg, Seth Green, and Jon Lovitz. The actor got the role of an Italian tourist, although it was originally assumed that his character would be from China. In 2003, the screens came out the comedy Johnny English, where the actor again departed from the role of Mr. Bean and played a British intelligence agent. The film itself was a humorous parody of the tape about James Bond, the famous spy from the movies. The picture was a success, and Rowan himself won the prestigious European Film Awards award as the Best Actor. In 2011, a sequel, Johnny English Reborn, was made. In 2016, Atkinson's filmography included a picture, the main character of which is not at all a smiling private detective. Maigret was based on a series of novels by Belgian writer Georges Simon about a criminal police commissioner. Critics controversially accepted Rowan in this role, while the actor himself was enthusiastic about participation in the project, because he was in love with stories about Maigret and dreamed of plunging into the atmosphere of Paris 1950. However, the first invitation to the role Atkinson, after reflecting for 3 months, rejected. He thought that he would not get used to the image, which has not been embodied before him, so as not to copy. Yes, to the detective genre, where the hero is not comic, discouraged. But the film crew, including the producer, the son of writer John Simon, waited a year for Rowan. Commissioner Maigret, the only character of the British actor, who spends half a day in the car, but never sat behind the wheel. This fact Atkinson very upset. In addition, the amateur car racing for the duration of filming was banned from participating in such dangerous activities. In 2018, the British actor continued the story of super agent Johnny English. And since the films in this series are a parody of the popular action movie with James Bond, The hand to the script had the authors of the Bond movies Robert Wade and Neil Purvis. The picture was called Johnny English 3. In the film, British Prime Minister played Emma Thompson, and the link between the films about Agent 7 and his funny double was the participation in the film of Olga Kurylenko, who had already tried on the image of Bond's girlfriend in Quantum of Solace. Cars. Atkinson has a weakness for exclusive cars and racing. At one time, he even wrote articles for specialized magazines. In 2011, Rowan miraculously escaped death, speeding on McLaren phone worth £650,000 to 240 miles per hour and crashed into a tree. He has a fleet including a BMW 328, an Aston Martin Virage, a Rolls-Royce, a Morris Traveller, a Honda Civic Hybrid and a Mercedes-Benz 500e. The car Aston Martin DB7 Vantage, driven by the hero in the movie Johnny English, also belongs to the performer of the main role. There is also a brand of cars, which the performer does not like. It is a Porsche. Moreover, Atkinson believes that he will not be able to get along with the people who choose these cars. Personal life. Rowan often jokes that he does not like to give interviews because journalists invariably ask him questions about his personal life, which, alas, is not as eventful as the life of his character Bean. For a while, the performer dated actress Leslie Ash, but broke up with her. In the late 80s, he met with a makeup artist Sunitra Sestry, who worked at the BBC television channel. Their relationship grew very rapidly, and in 1990 they played a wedding. At first a very modest, in a small family circle, and then held a luxurious ceremony in the center of London, where they invited 80 people. In marriage, the couple had 2 children, daughter Lily Grace and son Benjamin Alexander Sebastian. The girl followed in her father's footsteps and played a couple of minor roles in Rowan's films, but eventually became a singer, performing solo in London clubs. In 2013, Rowan filed for divorce and soon began appearing in the company of actress Louise Ford, whom he had met the year before during a performance at the West End Theatre in the play Quatermain's Terms. A formal divorce from Sinatra followed in 2015, and less than a month later the actor invited Louise to live together in a country house. In December 2017, the couple had a daughter, Isla. Atkinson has no personal social media accounts, but there are many fan pages on Instagram and Facebook. There, fans post photos of Rowan himself as Mr. Bean. Perhaps this ignoring of the internet by the artist is due to human permissiveness and impunity, which violate peace of mind. So, in 2016, the artist was the victim of a cruel prank. An announcement of his suicide was published on Facebook. To intercede for the celebrity and refute the evil joke had to serious edition of The Sun. However, in Atkinson's biography, this is not an isolated case of death. Fortunately, each time false. In 2020, Rowan, Alan Bissett and Val McDermott were among the 20 public figures who signed a petition against the Scottish National Party's proposal for tougher measures against hate crimes. Rowan Atkinson now. The comedic talent and sparkling ideas that gave Atkinson nationwide popularity and now continue to delight viewers. The actor's channel on YouTube is one of the most watched in the world, and the celebrity does not leave his work in the film industry. In the summer of 2021, photos of Rowan in a blue bathrobe appeared in the press. Paparazzi caught the actor on the set of a new series from Netflix called Man vs. Bee, the script for which Atkinson personally wrote.